doing today? My name is Sean Sinclair. I've been a firefighter for 10 years. Today what we're going to discuss is understanding exactly what fire is. Firefighter survivors have never been more dependent on learning and understanding the behavior of fire. As firefighters, the best way to understand fire is with our ongoing commitment to studying and learning exactly what fire is. So today what we're going to discuss is what is fire, heat, fuel, oxygen, and what it pertains to how fire actually works. Now, can anybody tell me what fire is? Or take a guess? Yes, sir.
Fire is
A chemical reaction.
That's one of the parts of fire. Yes, sir, in the back.
combustion, energy.
That's exactly what it is. Fire is the visible effects of the combustion process producing heat, smoke, and light. What combustion is the chemical reaction that includes the sustaining oxidation of fuel accomplished to release heat and light. Can anybody tell me what it takes to make a fire?
Oxygen.
What's one of the components?
Oxygen, fuel, and heat.
That's it. Actually, in order for fire to maintain these four key ingredients, that's going to be fuel, heat, oxygen, and a chemical reaction. That's the only one you left out. And that's what we call the fire tetrahedron. Now, in order for us to understand what the fire tetrahedron is, that's combustion, I'm sorry, and that's the fire tetrahedron, as you can see. Heat, fuel, oxygen, and the chemical chain reaction. In order for us to better understand what the fire tetrahedron, let's unpack and see what heat is. Can everybody do this for me? What do you feel? Heat. Heat is the molecules and atoms moving across a material or a surface. Heat can be transferred or felt in three ways. The three ways are convection. Convection is through a liquid, through air, or boiling water. Or conduction. Conduction is through touching metal. Radiant is through light waves, like standing in front of a fire. With convection, that's like an oven or boiling water, as I said. And conduction is like putting your hand. If this surface was hot and you touch the bottom of it, you could feel the heat from here into that metal surface. So that's the three different ways that you can feel heat. Fuel for a fire. What fuel for a fire is any material that is being consumed during the combustion process and is heated up for the fire to use. There are three different types of fuel that a fire can use. Anybody want to take a guess?
Wood.
Yes.
Charcoal.
Yes.
Paper.
So you have, good job, you have the wood that can be used as a solid, you have charcoal that can be used for a solid, and this right here is a bale of hay that's on fire. It's another form of solid. Anybody want to give me some examples of what a liquid could be for a fire to use for fuel? Yes, sir.
Gas.
Gas is actually a gas of its own. That's in another category. Yes, sir.
Oh, I was going to say nitrogen.
Nitrogen is going to be a gas. Yes, sir.
I was gonna say nitrogen.
Okay. The liquid form is going to be something like paint thinner or charcoal lighter fluid or hairspray or what they call an aerosol. The last property of a fuel is, like you just said, is gas. Right here we have an example of gasoline, this is propane, and this is oxygen. You know, you see you can see, most of the time you see elderly people or some young people, they have to use oxygen. They usually have a warning right down here that you can see very slightly. You can't really see because it's fuzzy in the picture, but oxygen is actually flammable. And you know the funny thing about all three, anybody want to tell me anything that they recognize out of all three of these different slides? I'll go back slow, I'll start from the top. You have wood, charcoal, and hay. You have aerosol cans, paint thinners, and lighter fluid, and you also have gasoline, propane, and oxygen.
That when you go back to the fires, the top one is hairspray.
Well, honestly, the thing about all of this is, go ahead, sir.
We use them every day.
That's right. You can find any of these items. All these are mainly household items you can find around your house any and every day. That's how easy it is to get your hands on it. Now the next picture we're going to show is going to be oxygen. Oxygen is very vital to a fire because it ties all the elements together. Oxygen to a fire is like us. Without oxygen, a fire cannot breathe. It literally chokes itself out. So you can have all the heat you want, all the smoke you want, all the fuel you want, but without that oxygen, it can't breathe at all. It'll choke itself out. So oxygen is all the time fire is all the time looking for oxygen. And when they can't find oxygen, this is what will happen. A flashover is a sudden event that occurs. A flashover is a sudden event that occurs when all the contents in a room reaches the ignition point. Everything has a certain temperature when it'll catch on fire. A piece of paper has a certain point. Your sweater may have a certain point. My watch may have a certain point. When it all ignites at the same time, when the temperature gets just right, it'll cause a flashover like this. Now, going back to oxygen, this is what happens when you have gas in fire is highly toxic. And like I said, it's always looking for oxygen. When it starves oxygen, it'll choke itself out. But if you open up a window or open up a door and you give it fresh air and introduce it to that toxic air, this is what happens. It'll ignite and explode because say you hold your breath and you take a gas, that's what happens. It causes itself to ignite. It'll backdraft like that. Now there are 4 stages to a house fire. This is the beginning, which we call the recipient stage. It's when, say that little couch catches on fire. The next stage is the growth stage. A fire can double in size depending on the right amount of fuel, the amount of heat, the amount of oxygen. It can double in size every 30 seconds. So that may have taken, depending on the size of the house, it may have taken 10 minutes. The second stage is fully involved. That takes probably about 30 to 40 minutes when the whole house is caught on fire. And maybe in an hour and a half, this is the decay stage. This is when it's all said and done and the house is burnt to the ground. Yes, sir.
I just thought about something. In a fire, whenever I see fires, it always has to be touching ground to move. How come they just can't, like if you go back to the backdraft, you see it flying and it's going up, why does it still go or does it just leave?
Fire, the reason why it's probably staying is because it's still working off that same fuel source. Like it'll burn on this desk and burn up all the material on this desk until all that is gone, and then it'll start searching for something else. Can anybody tell me what it takes to put a fire out? How do you? Yes, sir.
Fire extinguisher.
Good job.
Choke it out, like put some on it.
That's right. In order to put a fire out, you only need to interrupt any 4 of the ingredients of the fire catcher heater. Can anybody tell me what those 4 ingredients are? Yes, sir. That's 1. Oxygen is 1. You answered 1.
Heat.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fuel.
That's right. It's just that simple. If you interrupt any 4 of those 3, the fire cannot exist. And that's all it takes to interrupt. Yes, sir.
What does water do to the fire?
Water interrupts the heat. So while it's still hot, only thing water actually does is cool it down. And that's what it takes to put a fire out. So just like you said, in order to stop a fire, successfully stop a fire, you only need to interrupt 1 of the 4, and that's cooling the fire with water, removing the fuel, and shutting the oxygen off. Thank you guys for having me, and I hope I enlightened you guys a little bit on what it takes about fire behavior.